and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the upper semifinals of the Sparkling Tuna Cup. We already have our first finalist. Solar has made it to the grand finals. He's waiting for the winner of this very series, whether it's going to be a Protoss or a Terran. We are here to determine that. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Sharva Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss player himself. It is Gerald. The stream is in. The stream is done. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our best of three. Let's go. Let us go. As we have our semis ready. And again, we do have Gerald, who typically thrives in the late game. Again, his late game PvT is insane. It is terrifying, I will say. And if he can get there, then he can look like a beast. But the question is, can he get to the late game? Will ByuN let him get there? Is a better question. So far, single gas, so ranks expand. Economic opener here out of ByuN. ByuN, as we mentioned before, he is known for his mid game more than anything, mid to late game as well. He is known for going for drop play and going for these earlier timings at time, but not really committing to these all-ins. Not the same way that you see from Cure, from Bunny, from Maru. He's not that kind of player. As he does land a CC a little bit off center. Of course, he can always lift, he can always replace, he can always relocate. But this will delay the CC for a little bit. So a cheeky start out of Gerald. When it comes to the map itself, that's also going to come into play. Ultra Love is known for being a map of extremes on one end and on the other. On the one hand, the rush distance by ground can be quite short, and some of these bases can be a little bit more accessible, especially this area in between the third, the fourth, and the natural. This area here can be abused, and we have seen many all-in break a defending player. At the same time, if we don't go for an all-in, and I don't think ByuN will, if we can get up to a 4-base economy, then we can freely get a 5th base and get up to a 6th base and cut the map in half. This map's terrain makes it so you can slow the game down to a crawl because of all the choke points. We have a very narrow bridge here in the center of the map, another narrow bridge behind it or next to it. We have a ramp as well towards the left. We have another narrow ramp on the right as well. There are just so many ramps, so many points of elevation, so many choke points where it can be quite difficult to rotate to get past a choke point without being spotted by your opponent, specifically in the late game, which is why we've often seen some long drawn-out games. Or some shorter ones, which is why we mentioned it's a bit of a more of a map of extremes. We can see all ins, or we can see late game. Let's go. So from here we have our Twilight Council opener out of Gerald. Getting to his Twilight Council. Working towards Blink. We have our tech of choice. As ByuN trying to catch out that first Stalker. It does get a bit of hull damage. Oh. But Gerald does pull away. Oh. He is being attentive. Yeah. As behind this, ByuN is getting to his own 1-1-1. Interesting, going for a Marine drop. There's no Widow Mines behind this. There's no Hellion either. Cyclone is moving out to support. But the drop is spotted by the hallucination. Geralt is aware. He's aware of what's coming his way. He doesn't see the Cyclone, and the Cyclone does catch him out. A nice bait here by ByuN. Locks onto the Adept. Nice pick up. As ByuN, he was intentionally keeping the Cyclone out of vision of the hallucination. Looking for another way in. Looking for a way in. Takes down the shield battery. Going further into the natural. So far doesn't get one shot. Ooh, does fall actually. Nice cleanup. Nice pick off there by Gerald. Takes down the full medevac, takes down the Cyclone. Yeah, ByuN getting a little bit too excited. Sure, he got 2 probe kills. Sure, he distracted the main army, but that was not quite worth it. Not worth the medevac and the Cyclone. With that, Gerald, he gains map control. Behind this, going into a very gateway-heavy composition, going into charge, gateway explosion as well. And this should lead into the Forge, into upgrades, into delayed splash damage. Again, so he should have plenty of charge to slow down a push to engage. ByuN is just setting up on 2 bases. No surprises here. We have a 3rd CC on the way. As you mentioned, ByuN, he's the least likely player to go for these 2 base all-ins. No, he's not like Maru, he's not like Cure. So 3rd CC, we're building up into the mid-game. And this is where Gerald can be at his strongest. If he can get up to a 4-base setup. He's not there yet. He's getting there. Lotus popping up. Gets 2 probes. Gets a couple workers. Storm is going to be on the way. Once Gerald can get into Storm, he can be feeling quite secure. 4th base is now getting up and running. ByuN, he'll soon be able to move out. He was just waiting for his upgrades. Stim is now done. And ByuN can start to be active. Can start to be active. Rotating towards the left-hand side, heading towards the would-be 4th. And can they get on top of it? The tanks are sieging. Yeah, tanks are sieging. Zelsi get on top of the first tank. They get 1, and they're going to get both. Yeah, both tanks do go down. Oh no! He came back too soon. Yeah, a little bit mistimed there from Gerald. Took an extra tank shot, but he still holds. Whew. Does hold on. Ay, ay, ay. Again, he pulled away a little bit too early. Despite that, Gerald, he holds. He holds, he has Storm. Should be feeling safe, should be feeling secure. As his 4th is getting up and running. ByuN still has access to drop play, he can still be somewhat active on the map. But outside of that, the game is slowing down. Protard's still popping up. Ghosts are now on the way. That's gonna be the next big power spike here for ByuN. Gonna be his Ghost with his EMPs. Likewise, Gerald, he has to get ready for Colossus. Oh, running into the army. Actually, he's got plenty of Zealots here. He's catching out the Marines. And catching out the Bio. ByuN has to back up. Has to get the hell out of here. Storm has arrived, and ByuN's 3rd base is in danger. The tower taking a lot of damage. We just blink in. We just blink in. Zealots take it on top of the army. Forcing him back. Storm in the mineral line. Yeah, bold move. Does get a couple of SCVs. That means there are less storms to the main army. But he has enough. Looks like he might barely have enough. Zealots are rallying in. SCVs are going down. There's no more storms remaining. Takes down the Raven. Takes on the Raven. ByuN, he does hold on, but at a cost of 16 SCVs. Still took down the Archon, took down the High Templar. Ideally, Gerald, he wanted to end the game there. He wanted to end the game then and there. Again, he made the choice to storm the mineral line, not to storm the main army. ByuN, he barely holds on. He holds, he survives. And Gerald, he has to rebuild, and he already is. Gerald's now getting a 5th base. Going for a 2nd robo. Panicking a little bit, throwing down 2 base. But working towards Colossus, he needs them. He needs to work towards the Colossus. We get an okay Storm. Raises the army. As As ByuN, he's gained map control. Gerald, he's pinned back. Going Disruptor first. Bold move. Wait for the Disruptors. He has 0 storms. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Oh, as he tried to overcharge. Get sniped. Templar goes down. Archon getting caught as well. Brutal pickoffs. And ByuN, he knows how close he is to breaking Gerald. Ay, ay, ay. Takes out all the Zealots. Gets on top of the Stalkers. There's no support left. Snipes are popping up. And there are no Colossus. The problem here as well is we went for Disruptors, not Colossus. And Novas that can be dodged. Where's the bite? There we go. Finally now popping out. But it's too little too late. Yeah, it's too little too late. The base has been broken. Takes down the middle line, takes down the expansion. And ByuN, he has broken Gerald. Again, unfortunately, the fight earlier here that was so committed just did not get enough done. Just some really expensive losses there from Gerald. And that switch into Colossus / Disruptor was so late. So late, so delayed. My army just sends into the mineral line, and Gerald, he cannot deal with this. Not like this, not anymore. Losing the Disruptors, losing a second mineral line. And again, ByuN has done it. As he takes on 2 expansions. And no, Gerald, he cannot take this base. It's not gonna happen. He's trying. Down goes the bait. And again, Gerald, he has so much potential with that first engagement, with that first push as well. Just got a little bit too excited. Got too excited. And in the end, he went down to the counterattack. And now he's down to 3 bases. Now he's down to barely an economy. Oof, brutally AP. Vikings are now built up. And ByuN breaks through. Just breaks through. There's just not enough cells, not enough buffer. And again, there's no storm, there's no supports. Oof, brutal mine shots. We have a desperation zealot run by here for Gerald doing what he can. Again, he knows that he was close to breaking ByuN. He knows he was so close. Ah. Ay, ay, ay. And ByuN now going for the third. Again, this is really like the last real mining base here for Gerald. And he shouldn't be able to save it. There just is no army. ByuN sort of steps in. Does that run make us 27? What? Oh my god. ByuN, he was not paying attention at all. 27 SCVs go down, but it doesn't matter. GG gets called, and ByuN takes game number 1. Whew, GG. ByuN, he does take a lead in the series. Again, a very intense back and forth. As we mentioned, Gerald, he had a lot of potential when it came to his first storm timing, when his first move out. He did choose to go for the economy, not for the main army. We saw that ByuN was able to hold, able to defend, deal with the army, then break out and counterattack. We saw that Gerald was also panicking a little bit when it came to his follow-up, when it came to his switch and transition into Colossus / Disruptor, into his Robo army, as he threw down Double Bay. He threw down, I want to say, didn't quite get a third Robo. But Double Bay and his Robo production was delayed. So by the time he got into his splash damage, it was just a little bit too late. Too little too late here. The map itself also came into play. The short rush distance by ground on Ultra Love. That's where you can be more successful, more aggressive in the earlier game, when the early to mid game. GG. GG, well played. And now we're getting into Persephone. And we'll see if ByuN can close it out here. And now we'll see if Gerald can bring it back and force the ace match. Let's go. Let us go. As Persephone, I want to say, actually shares some similarities with Ultra Love. We spoke about how in Ultra Love, if you can secure yourself on 4 bases, it is easier to get into a 5th and 6th expansion. If you can get into that more maxed out army, you can slow the game down to a crawl. We didn't get there in game 1. Here on Persephone, it's a little bit similar, where it is so difficult to take your opponent's bases. Like, there is just so much space between your side and your opponent's side of the map. It is a lot easier to cut this map in half, and so much more difficult to actually get onto the other side. side, so from here we can get into a split map scenario if we make it that far. If we're able to max out. For now though, we're getting to game number 2 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Persephone. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. Go. As we are setting up, ByuN being a little bit cheeky here with his setup. He's going for his racks a little bit further back, not at the ramp. This means if Gerald did go for a probe scout, he would poke in, he would see the racks is missing, and this sometimes does cause overreactions. So a bit of a cheeky setup here from ByuN. Going down his racks further back. Gerald's now moving out. We'll soon get a read on what's going on. Let's go. But again, welcome to Persephone. Persephone, outside of the base layout and how segmented and how cut in half the map is, we also have the goal base. Typically, a lot of the engagements, if we get into that kind of max out situation scenario, does occur around the gold. The gold is probably the most contestable base on the map. Likewise, we have the healing pad. We have all the speed zones as well. Short rush distance by air. ByuN going for the CC on the high grounds, and Gerald pokes in. He does confirm the CC. Ooh, making a zealot does cancel. Okay, does cancel the zealot. Does confirm the location of the racks. So for a moment there, Gerald was making a zealot. He found out he didn't need it. Spin is moving out. Does move out. We'll see if Gerald does switch things up. We do expect Gerald to once again go into Blink, get into a third base, get into Charge, into upgrades, into a very gateway heavy composition. That is kind of like the go-to standard meta here in TvP. I don't know if Gerald's really wants to switch things up too much. We'll see. As Reaper breaks in, gets 2 probe kills, not bad. Gets 2 workers. Got the scout off the ramp. To have a 1-1-1 here from the side of ByuN. Once again, getting ready for the early drop. Last game, the Marine drop was very lackluster. It didn't really get much done, and yeah, it was a better start for Gerald, if you recall. It looks like ByuN is doing something very similar. Moving out with his Marine Cyclone. And is going to be scattered by the hallucination, potentially. Hallucination moves in. Yep, scouts a drop. Does confirm. Gerald is fully aware. Ooh, we're throwing down extra gateways as opposed to last game. How many gates? We have, I believe, a 4-gate setup. Un momento. Yeah, we have 3 gates in the main base. We have 1 gate at the natural, so 4-gate blink. Gerald is being hyper aggressive this time. Okay, let's go. Ooh, brutal snipe from the sentry. Sentry goes down. That means no high ground vision. Trading with his opponent, delaying the third base, and again that is a rough start for Gerald as he's expanding. Interestingly enough, it's 4-gate blink, yes, but no robo. There's no robo, there's no warp prism as a result. Again, the only way to gain high ground vision would have been with a hallucination. An interesting start. As Gerald, he's moving out, he's being active. He could maybe have threatened the main base if he did have that sentry. But now just trying to gain map control. Now working towards splash damage, working towards storm. A bit of a shakier start here for Gerald. Setting up a proxy. Getting ready to warp in across the map. Oh. Likewise, it's a natural as well. Getting up to 7 gates. You see Gerald trying to catch in and kind of drop late and kind of move out. Speaking of, ByuN, he does slip by. Oh, he gets scouted. Yeah, he's going to be scouted. Nice pick off. One more volley. Ooh, takes down a full medevac. Nice catch here from Gerald. Let's go. Does catch ByuN out. Charge almost done. Storm finishing up as well. Again, Gerald, I feel like he needed something to go his way here. Because his build of choice was a little bit lackluster. Let's go. The third CC on location. Oh, does take some massive tank shots to the face. Building up. And this time Gerald, he's not going for any kind of big storm timing. He's being active with the army, that is true, but he's getting a 4th base. Getting a 4th base, the army, oh, sorry, the drop does get into the main. Gerald does spot it, he's racing back home. Get busy. Zealots are being dealt with. Trying to force a bit of friendly fire. Nice storm takes down the medevac. Gerald, he's holding. At the same time, though, ByuN gets away with his 3rd. If Gerald was across the map, he could have tried to deny the 3rd base and contain on 2 bases. So very greedy here by ByuN, but he gets away with it. Gets away with the 3rd base.
Base is under attack.
That auto turret. That Raven's been so annoying. They're major kills, but annoying nonetheless. Gerald double expanding, claiming his 4th base, now going straight for the gold. Okay. Pushing into the gold expansion. Done. Zelarame gets into the middle line, getting 6 TvP kills so far. Not bad. Gerald moving in. Storms are ready. But so are the EMPs. At the same time, remember, Gerald, he doesn't have to go in. He's trading out Zealots, which is perfectly fine. Because of why? Because of the gold. Right? The gold base is almost done. So he can afford to trade out these Zealots. He does have a lot of minerals in the bank as well. How many gates is he on? 10. Not a bad gate count, but here, yeah, there we go. He throws down extra gateways. Trying to spend his money. It's getting caught out. Trying to move in. ByuN trading very efficiently. Cleans up all the zealots, takes down the gateway. The gold base just now getting saturated. And just as ByuN moves out. Uh-oh. Yeah, ByuN is pushing. Scans top right, he finds the gold base. Gerald completely backs off, and he will lose the expansion. Yeah, he will lose it. He won't fight for it. The base goes down, instead goes for a massive warp in into the main. You know, it's going to be ByuN's turn to be out of position. He's racing back home. Turns everything back around. This is going to give Gerald a little bit of room to breathe. Going for another warp in, getting more SCVs. Gerald claiming another expansion. And again, not too bad. 13 SCVs, drags everything back home. And Gerald double expanding. Taking both bases. ByuN is stuck at home. Say that he's moving out with his triple drop. They swat each other. Gerald responds at the same time getting ready for a zealot run by. ByuN, he doesn't really have much of an army ready. Set the natural, there we go. He does respond. Jesus. Gerald, he's ready in the main. Brutal feedbacks. In the main base. Meanwhile, the zealot run gets dealt with. Ooh, brutal storm. Takes down one, takes down all three medivacs. Let's go. This one Raven. It's getting 14 kills in total. Last Gerald, he's getting his base up and running. He will have the economic lead. The Raven just keeps popping up. Now, the one concern is that Gerald, he has a very almost fragile army. He doesn't really have any Colossus, no Disruptors, just now beginning his own Disruptor and Colossus production. Okay, he's getting there with his own Robo. Robos are getting up and running. Now, though, Gerald, he's relying on his Storms. He only has 2 High Templar. Lands one good Storm. And the other is okay. Let's land the one. Both armies are maxing out. Gerald moving back in, kills the CC. And again, so crucial that Gerald, he's mining from that gold. We spoke at the beginning of the game how specifically on Persephone, this gold base is typically the base that matters the most. Just because it's so difficult to take any of your opponent's expansions. So in a longer game, Gerald, he will have more resources, as he has claimed an extra base, an extra expansion. Can he spend that money though? As there's no storms with this, and only one disruptor. Like this army, sorry, there's only one disruptor, only one Nova. This army has to get the hell out of here. SCP. But he has to back off. Like there's no backbone to this army. There's no Disruptors, no High Templar, no Storm. ByuN, he sees this. Yeah, he wants it. Sims in. There's nothing here. Like this army means nothing. Here we go. Disruptors not coming in. Archon's gonna be going down. Here we go. Colossus have arrived. Oof. And the Nova will connect. Very nice Nova. And here come the reinforcements. Whew. Gerald holds. Gerald, he holds on. Oh, he barely saves the Colossus as well. Again, a very shaky defense there from Gerald. Oh, the Raven finally goes down. Bit of an F2. Raven finally falls. But ByuN escapes with most of those ghosts. He escapes with the ghosts. Nova goes up. Nova does not connect. Spinner's coming back here against the Zealots. Ooh, fighting a little bit too long within range of the Colossus. Has EMPs. Now he can stand forward. He can chase the Colossus down. At the same time, Zealot Runback comes in from behind. But doesn't get much done. Getting stuck on the production. Now, on the one hand, ByuN has been having more efficient trades. True, like he basically reset the army here for Gerald. But Gerald, he has the gold, he has more bases, he can afford these trades more so than ByuN, and now he's building up his Colossus count. Jeez, when I say building up, he's getting up to 5 Colossus. That's a lot of lasers. that's gonna be a lot of Colossus. Aye. Let's go. Now, ByuN hasn't seen this. ByuN, he has some Vikings, true. He's getting his first 3 Vikings now. He has 2 starports, getting up to 4. But he hasn't seen just how many Colossus he's going to be up against. Okay. And before these Vikings come online, Gerald, he will have the advantage. Like, these Colossus, they have a lot of potential here to just wreak havoc and to make their way through this army. Let's get around 4 Colossus. Disruptors are on the way. Vikings are slowly amassing. As time goes on, ByuN is going to have more Vikings. He's building up his upgrades, getting to +2 ship weapons. Eventually into a fusion core, into liberators as well. Is pushing on the right. Does take a storm to the face. The army responds. Colossus are exposed. It doesn't go for the dive. It doesn't quite go for it. Pulls away. Dark Shrine is in production. The map at this point is cut in half, and Gerald is taking every base on this side of the map. And these should be all the expansions for Gerald. Oh. Decent Novas. Gerald, he's reached his final form. We spoke earlier how Gerald, he's at his strongest in the late game. He's got him there. Nice storms. 1 Colossus goes down. He takes out one of the Colossus. There are still 3 standing. And they're going to remain standing as every Viking falls. And remember, these Colossus, they can be topped up. Gerald, he pulls away. He backs off, heads over to the healing pad, and he will heal up those Colossus. Aye. We spoke earlier in the previous series how specifically on Persephone, this healing pad benefits Protoss so much more. Because previously there was no way to heal up these units. Now there is. There's a way to heal up. Previously that would just be permanent damage. Not anymore. Moving in. It's going to be rotating around. Gerald has a very healthy bank that he can work with. Could do with extra gas. So that's all getting caught out though. Yeah, he overextends. ByuN coming in from behind. Can he get into the Colossus? He can. He gets 1. He gets 2. Novas are connecting. Oh, brutal connection. And Novas do connect. A very messy fight. ByuN bleeding out a lot of his fire at the same time. Also takes down a lot of the disruptors and Colossus. 1 Colossus left here for Gerald. ByuN finally working towards Liberators. It took some time, but he's getting there. He's getting there with that fusion core. With Liberator range. And you can also notice as well, for the past, I want to say 5 minutes, maybe even more than that, ByuN, he has not been able to really threaten any of these expansions. Like, Gerald, he is freely mining, freely enjoying his economy. ByuN just hasn't been able to move out. If he ever does, Gerald, he's there to punish. He's got his massive army here outside of the bases. Just always rotating. Takes down 2 ghosts. Nicely done. Ooh, and this should not be happening. We spoke earlier how it is so difficult to take some of your opponent's bases on this map. Oh no! That's close to the extend. Novas, they graze the army. Well, let's go down. We spoke about how difficult it is, but Gerald, he's going for it. He's going for it. There's a scan. ByuN, he has to punish. He cannot let this happen. Moving forward. Oh, nice splits. Splits against Nova. Kiting well. As the cannons and shield batteries are on the way, you can see Gerald just throwing down a wall of cannons and shield batteries. Like, he knows how difficult it is to defend this location, but hey, they're finishing. And this is a game-winning move as well, by the way. Like, Gerald, he already has a larger bank because of the gold, but taking a base away from your opponent is huge, especially on Persephone. I would say that it's important here that Gerald, he does pull the boys and saturate the space immediately. Like, any minerals and gas he can take from this base is it's insanely huge. So I would love for him to recall or Maynard. Otherwise, this isn't really worth it. Yeah, as you can see here, so he doesn't mine from the space. Mines a couple of minerals, but he's going to lose all these resources. Cannon, shield batteries, Nexus, it's all going to go down. As I mentioned, it is difficult to take these bases. Gerald's rotating over. Gets 1 Liberator. Gets a 2nd. Now getting a 3rd. Still the Novas. Oh no, he comes in from behind! Yeah, Novas are connecting. Yeah, messy fight. He sims in, gets 3, 4, 5, 6, gets every disruptor. Yeah, massive losses. There are only 2 robos. That should not be the case. Only 2 robos for Gerald, but he's still trading well. Yeah, he's still trading well. Zell say do an amazing job tanking. He saves the low ground expansion, or the expansion on the right hand side. Goes for a massive warp in. Gerald, still there, still mining. Not the best saturation, but saturation nonetheless. Gerald, he could do with extra production buildings, extra robos specifically, to be able to remax as quickly as possible. Like, right now he has a bank. What's hurting him is his production. He's on 15 gateways. He's on 2 robos. He could go up to 20 gateways. He can go up to 3 robos. So production, the production is a big bottleneck here for Gerald. Yeah, it's giving ByuN more time. Type yourselves in, because as this is shaping out, we are looking to get into the ace match here. Again, Gerald, he is now fully saturated the bottom right, taking a base away from ByuN. Earlier, it looked like ByuN was going to take over this location, but if you remember, he was distracted. He had to pull away. The Nexus was saved. Gerald's moving in. Say pop off. Oh my god, brutal connection. Let's have 4 ghosts, 4 or 5 ghosts going down. Ay, ay, ay. And GG gets called. There's no fighting back. And Gerald, he will tab the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Whew, GG. We're going to the ace match. We're going to game 3 again. Gerald able to gain and maintain that map control. There were times where he was taking some rough fights, some worse trades even, but it was fine because he had the gold base, and it became even worse when he took bottom right. Once he took that expansion, as you mentioned, that was a game-winning move. It meant that he was taking resources away from ByuN. He had a massive bank already. It was getting even larger, and again, ByuN, his resources were being stifled. It was just getting less and less resources there. Could not keep up with the trades, could not keep up with Gerald's. GG well played. And with that, Gerald does tie things up, and now we're going to the ace match. And we'll see if Gerald can get into that game state again. Now, I will say it's going to be a little bit more difficult in a sense. Up next, we're going to be loading into Tokamak. Tokamak is a larger map. It is known for its macro games, that is true. It is known for establishing your 4-base setup quite nicely, and even getting your 5th base as well. I will say that a big difference here is that on Tokamak, your bases are more spread out. They are more spread out, so it can be more difficult to defend your fringe expansions. This is where your opponent can be more aggressive and more active. It's more difficult, but not impossible. So we'll see. We'll see if Gerald can get there again. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Protoss player, the Polish Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. Here we go. ByuN's army feels kind of small, even though it's at 130. Bearing in mind that a lot of ByuN's supply were in Vikings, were in Liberators, and of course the Ghost does take up more supply than it once did, like a year ago at this point. So that's why the ground army specifically was looking a little bit smaller. Still a very potent army, for sure, but the problem there was that ByuN was stuck at home. We were trying to emphasize it and bring it up a couple of times throughout that course of that game, how ByuN, he just wasn't able to counterattack, wasn't able to go for any drop play, wasn't able to apply any pressure to Gerald. Gerald, he had full map control, so ByuN, he was just stuck at home defending and struggling to defend as well. As Gerald was very comfortable on Persephone. And again, ideally, he wants to get into that kind of game state again, coming into Tokamak. Oh boy. Here we go. As we mentioned, this map has a lot of bases, but it's more spread out. We can kind of get into that kind of game state once again, but it is more difficult. Tokamak, it is more difficult to kind of get into that to be able to gain that map, because not impossible. Gerald, he could still pull that off, but it's going to be a bit of a tougher ask here. But now we're settling in, and once again we have an economic opener out of ByuN. ByuN going for a Rax Expand, going for a delayed factory. And we'll see if ByuN goes into any early drop play. So far, both in Game 1 and Game 2, we've seen Reacted Marine into Marine Cyclone drop across the map. We've seen it both in Game 1 and Game 2. Could see it again here. Otherwise, we could go into early Cyclone, into early Banshee play. We can go for Widowmine drops. But for now, we have another add-on swap into Cyclone. Here we go. Go. Meanwhile, we have our Twilight Council opener out of Gerald. Getting into his council. Working towards Blink. Getting into Blink, throwing down extra gateways. We do have Gerald going for a very safe setup here, getting up to 3 gates. I would not have blamed Gerald for going for something like 2 gate blink into a third on Tokamak, but here, playing it safe. Getting a shield battery, getting a third gateway. Good moves in, trying to catch any stray units. Does fail to deny the scout. Gerald does move out. Oh, okay. Doesn't go for the add-on swap. He does keep the tech lab on the factory. This is not always seen here, so we are starting very early tank production. Tanks are going to be amassing early on. This feels like ByuN is setting up for what he does best, which is going for this stimulus push to build up his tanks, his marines, to move out early. Designed to knock down the third. Job is deflected. Ooh. Quite hard. Oh! Gerald not attentive here. He'll lose 2 stalkers. Aye. 2 stalkers go down, but it looks like he will barely get the Widowmine. Widowmine does fall. Does leave the army though. Welcome is brutal. And Gerald, he will lose all 4 stalkers. Aye. That's 4 stalkers going down, and ByuN, he will soon push. He will soon move out. Again, he's making 3 marines at a time, waiting for another tank, waiting for his Banshee. Soon move out. Behind this Gerald, he starts up charge. Losing 4 stalkers is just a really shaky start here for Gerald. He has to be active. He's moving out. And he needs to slow this down. He needs to try to slow this down. As so far he doesn't see the move out. He does have some fake stalkers in the mix. Then he encounters the army. Gets a stalker. Takes out the stalker. Lock on for assist. Takes out another. Yeah, just a really shaky early game here from Gerald, and he barely has an army standing. Charge is still not yet done. Again, Gerald, he should have had 4 extra stalkers with this. I guess a tank. Okay. Nicely done. Gets one of the tanks. Can he get on top of the other? Tank is complete. Picks up a couple of marines. And again, so crucial here that he does zone ByuN away, and ByuN, he backs up. ByuN, he backs off. He does not break the third. Gerald, he does get it up and running. Okay, we have a game. We have a game. We have a back and forth. Gerald from here should be expanding, getting a 4th expansion. Moves out for a counterattack. Same time, Banshee into the main. The tank, not bad. Oh. The tank will bleeds out a stalker. And she does hit the natural. And I was waiting for the moment, but here it is. ByuN, he does expand. 3rd TC is on the way. Again, ByuN is not really one to go for these all-ins. So he's now expanding, and now we're embracing a longer game. And we're calming down. We're building up. 4th base on the way for Gerald. 3rd base on the way for ByuN. So we're building up. We have Storm as the initial splash damage choice for Gerald. Getting into Storm first. Still very gateway-centric. And he's just posturing. His army gets spotted. Nice time for the Cyclone. Storm is not ready. And Gerald, can he engage? Can he stop those tanks from getting within range? Tanks take siege. Tanks do siege. We're still a ways away from Storm. So I'll say you run fast. A bit of an awkward setup. It's a lot of Zealots going down, and ByuN is pushing in. Brutal choke point as well. Yeah, Zealots just get annihilated. Storm is now done, but is it too late? Yeah, Stalkers are going down. Where are the Storms? No Hytalian, no Templar, no Storms. And that's going to be game. That's going to be game. GG gets called. We were waiting for Storm, but there was 0 Templar ready. And ByuN, he will break through. He will take the series at 2-1. GG. GG, well played. Again, Storm did complete, but there were no High Templar ready. Even despite that, we saw that Gerald, he was not able to slow down the push, not able to engage ahead of time. The tanks, they pushed too far forward, and GG. GG, well played. Before we could get into a longer game, we almost got there. Gerald was getting a 4th base, ByuN was getting a 3rd. The game was meant to last a little bit longer there, but Gerald, he was caught a little bit with his pants down. GG. GG, well played. And with that, ByuN, he will claim the series. He will advance on into the grand finals, where he has his next opponent ready and waiting for him. Let's go. Let us go.